going on, everybody? Hello, hello. Happy New Year's. This is obsidian, so yes, it's volcanic glass. I don't know how many of you was in here yesterday, but I finished the spider web obsidian, or not spider web, snowflake obsidian. That's the blade that I napped yesterday when I was live. I wish I had enough obsidian to build a nether portal. The nether is wild. Yes, it is. I do know lava blades, yes. I mean, we follow each other. I've talked to him a few times. Yeah, I like the green too. That is green fiber optic glass. I do sell them. My website is arrowsniperarchery.com. I would say they're sharper than a ceramic knife. I love the blue one. Can you show one? Here's the blue. Here is the fiber optic green. I make all my handles as well. This one right here, I made it out of an antique kitchen plate. That is called milk glass. My pressure flaker is copper. This is milliflora glass that has flowers in it. This is called snowflake obsidian. That is a natural occurring material. That's obsidian. And it looks like it has snowflakes in it. I don't sell just the handles, no. Nope, the only thing I sell is the finished product. Do I have amber glass? This is probably the closest thing I have. And I turned it into a Christmas tree. But I can remove that paint. That's, I do ship to Australia, yes, I have. If you ever make a blue and pink one, let me know. I could do blue glass and maybe eastern red cedar wood. It's kind of a pink purple color. I've not had any trouble with customs. I ship these as artwork, and I've shipped them everywhere: the Netherlands, Scotland, you know, all around the UK. I shipped one to Australia, and several to Canada. I've never had any issue with people getting the products. All of these are under $200. And the best thing you could do is just head out of here and go to my website and just check them out. Arrowsniperarchery.com. Yeah, I have all of these for sale right now. Do you know if anyone has ever been sacrificed? I have no clue. It's not really any of my business. Are they made with durability or are they purely ornamental? Well, they've never been purely ornamental. It's a primitive style blade. So it'll function, but in a primitive way, for primitive task. For instance, I hunt with a primitive bow, and I have skinned a deer with one of my knives. So most of the time, people like to display these as artwork because they're beautiful. And I've had people that skin deer with them. So, but as long as you have the understanding that they are a primitive style knife. What does primitive mean? Primitive would mean like back in the Stone Age, or Native Americans. At one time, that's all that they used was glass and stone. If you're interested in a custom order, just go to my website and email me. And I do take commissions. Right. How do you not know what primitive means? I don't feel like I should have to explain what primitive means. Steel is going to do nothing but crush the edge. You want to use a soft metal like copper, because when you push in, it's actually forming to the edge and grabbing a hold of it. If you use something really hard like a nail, you're simply just going to end up crushing the edge. You're not going to be able to remove a big flake. I have a hard time believing that it won't let you buy. I've had no trouble with the past 1,500 sales on my website, so Yeah, you need to use copper or deer antler. And you're probably applying pressure in the wrong way, the wrong manner. So what you really want to do is, when you lock into your abraded edge, you want to come up and you want to push straight into the piece and then down to drive a good flake. If you're putting any kind of an angle on it, you're not going to get good flakes. Happy New Year from the Scottish Highlands. We wish you a safe host. Hey, well, I appreciate that. I'm actually 40% Scottish. And I'm 10% Irish. So I probably have family there that I don't even know. Can I buy one, and how much? Go to arrowsniperarchery.com. I'm going to write it down. Hold on. It'd be much easier if I write it down. I also need to bandage my finger because I'm bleeding. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on. All right. I find any of my band-aids. So I had to make one. But there's my website. If you want to screenshot that, Google search it. I've sold all kinds of these to the UK. I've never had an issue because it's artwork. So my packages are labeled as artwork. There's no metal in them at all. And I've never ever had an issue with shipping these. Yeah. So I will somehow set this where you guys can see it. Can you see it there? About right there. arrowsniperarchery.com. Beautiful work though. Like I said, I've shipped several of these to the UK. I've never ever had an issue. Right there? Is that good? You guys see it? Do you want to see any of these? Let me know. Because they are for sale. Oh, forgot about my necklace. That's for sale too. That is spiderweb obsidian. Here's the one that I napped yesterday. That is Snowflake Obsidian and Eastern Red Cedar. I've got that one on sale. Go to my website, guys. If you want to know the prices, just go click on my go to my website, and you can instantly start scrolling through these. No micarta, no. Where do you get your stone from? So I get it from various places. There's a lot of different people that sell napping material. Sometimes I find glass at antique stores. Like this one is from an antique plate. An antique kitchen plate. And it's called milk glass. And I napped a blade out of it. The prices are a big bold print right underneath of each item on my website. Oh, you can't, you're not going to be able to see no prices for custom ordering. You just have to email me. I love the second one from the left. So unique. This one, I've sold a lot of these. That is green fiber optic glass. And I make my handles out of wood. This is Osage wood. And that's the same wood I make my bows out of. If you go to my website, just scroll to the bottom, and there's a place where you can email me. Yeah, just go to the very bottom of my website. How do you treat your wood? I use a spar urethane, and it's a good durable coat. It's the same thing I use on my bows. Osage is good. Osage is the best for bow making. I've made a lot of stuff from Osage. Here is what Osage looks like when you cut it fresh. And then it just continues to get darker and darker over time. It's also very hard on your saw blades, but it's worth it. Hey, from Scotland, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, too. I don't have my self bow in here. It's in my living room hanging up, or I would. I showed it on here yesterday. And I'm not going to be on here that long. I have posted videos of my self bows. How long does it take to make a necklace? Not real long. I just got to make the point, and then I wire wrap it. So, you know, that arrowhead probably took me half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, go through my videos. I've got several videos of my artwork and my bows. You can't have it, you can buy it. Where do you get your material from? Multiple different places. Sometimes eBay. I've even found some on Etsy. If you go on Facebook, there is flint knapping groups on Facebook, and there's a lot of individuals that sell material. You can find material. Like this glass right here. This is from a plate from an antique store. Okay. I will, I'll check my messages when I get off of here. But if you guys are interested in any of those, they're all available right now. And there's really no saying, like, when I'll sell out of them. Because I usually, when people start buying them, they kind of just all go at once, it seems like. But here lately it's been pretty slow with the holidays. So I just keep building up my inventory. That doesn't seem like a big inventory. But considering I make all these by hand, that's a lot. That's a lot of work right there. That's green fiber optic glass. It's a very lovely blade. You like my hand tattoo? Thank you. It's actually a broken off arrow. I need to get the other half of it somewhere else. No, that's a tattoo. Tattoos are pretty daggone addictive. I stick with like all my tattoos are animals pretty much. I've got a tattoo of the the old Disney Robin Hood movie. That's my Robin Hood. It is the OG movie. That's what got me into the archery. I started shooting a bow when I was about 5 years old, and that's the movie that that inspired me to want to shoot a bow. How sharp or durable? They're sharper than a razor blade, and then they're fragile as glass, because that's what they are. They're no more or no less. That's just what they are. I know. I thought about getting the rooster and the snake. That rooster is cool. Doesn't the snake get in a barrel of alcohol and get drunk, if I'm not mistaken? What's the real use for these? Well, the real use would be for primitive uses, like skinning an animal. Yeah, it would break if you dropped it, because it's made out of glass. But for cutting, it's very strong. Because glass, through the width of this blade, is extraordinarily strong. And it doesn't take much effort to cut with these. Essentially, what you're looking at is an artsy version of a primitive blade. I have not made a scabbard for them. Test cut something. Let me get the final edge on this one. I don't really have much around here to cut because I demonstrated it so many times. Let's put a good cutting edge on this blade right here, and I'll show you. I'm just using a horseshoe nail here. Flint knife blades cut with serrations. It's not a stone honed edge like a steel knife. You're cutting with teeth. These little razor sharp obsidian teeth. Yeah, this is a horseshoe nail. And you just smack it in there with a hammer. And I've also made one for the bigger horseshoe nails. I made this. So essentially I went to the hardware store and I got some brass fittings. I put a pencil in here. You'll see why in a second. But this is a horseshoe nail. And you put it into this nipple, and the pencil simply just pushes the horseshoe nail snug up into this nipple. And then you've got a horseshoe nail flaker. I also made, I make my own, they call these copper boppers. It's for percussion, like breaking big raw pieces of material. And that is just a copper cap from the hardware store that I filled with lead. And an Osage handle. But this right here is for big stuff. It'd be more for like this big glass collet. If I would order the necklace and wear it and walk around with it, will it cut my neck? No, because I dull them. I don't sell my necklaces sharp, so I actually abraded the edge. It's not sharp. So that's how I do my necklaces. Now, if for some reason you was to like somehow break this, wherever it breaks at will be razor sharp. So, you know, just be mindful of that. You don't want to break this if you're wearing it. And sometimes people just like to hang these up in their car window. My girlfriend's got, I think, 4 of these now hanging in her car window. Yeah, I mean, I get cuts. My hands, I've been doing this for about 6 years, and my hand's basically one big callus at this point. I'd prefer not to wear gloves because gloves rob you of dexterity, and I like to be able to feel what I'm doing with my tools. I wanted to show you how these cut. The necklace is The necklace kind is not sharp. Okay. So here is an obsidian blade, and I'll show you how it cuts this piece of leather. I'm not applying much pressure whatsoever. Just kind of letting the blade do its job. But you can see that's a really clean cut. So now you can understand better why the Native Americans, the Stone Age people, pretty much every culture at one point in time used this stuff before steel. Even the Vikings at one point flint knapped. Look at the Danish dagger, for example. The Danish dagger is one of the most extraordinary, beautiful flint knapped daggers ever. And it's not Native American. So that's just what we see in the movies most of the time. We relate flint knapping mainly to Native Americans. But like I said, even the ancient Egyptians flint knapped. A lot of different cultures flint knapped. Anyway, that's how sharp that is. Very sharp. They're all very sharp, except for the necklace. Yeah, if I was to run that across my skin, it would go straight into my bone. I know that from experience. Yes, I make all these. I make the whole thing. The handle, the blade. They're all handmade by me. And I sell them on my website if you're interested. When you take chips off the big bits of obsidian, do you use those chips for arrowheads? Yeah, if I'm working like a big spall like this, if I'm working something big like this, yes, I will use the flakes for arrowheads. So, like for instance, these came off of that big piece I just showed you, and I can make arrowheads out of all these. You're welcome. Yeah, feel free, guys. If you want to go check out my website, it's right there. Arrowsniperarchery.com. And I have this. It doesn't seem like a lot right here, but I usually don't even have this many because they take about 2 days a piece to make one of them. And you know, different times of the year, business can get really slow. Like right now is really, really slow. So I'm able to build up some choices for you. And normally, sometimes there's nothing on my website. What type of wood is used for the handles? So obviously these two right here stand out. Show you these first. So these are Eastern Red Cedar. I decided to go with a flat finish on this one, and this is a gloss. But that is Eastern Red Cedar wood. And then these three are Osage. So Osage is the type of wood I use to make my bows. And it's a really, really beautiful wood. that continues to darken forever. Like if you was to buy one of these Osage with the Osage handle and you put it somewhere where the sunlight hits it, it will darken. And it never stops darkening. That process never stops happening. That's why a lot of old Osage bows are really dark. But yeah, Osage, Eastern Red Cedar. Sometimes I use Purple Heartwood. But Osage is a tough ass wood. It's the hottest burning wood in the U.S. It's one of the strongest woods. They can be used for a lot of different things. Native Americans used the, like wood chippings to make dye. You can make a dye out of it as well. I've dyed T-shirts with this wood. Hey, God bless too. And Happy New Year's to everybody. And for now, wait till you get older. But yeah, this is what I got, guys. If you're interested, arrowsniperarchery.com. But I'm going to get off here and have some dinner. And I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's. And I'll go live again very soon. Thank you so much for watching my live.